Lambda is a key word in Python. It allows us to create functions on one line without using define or a function name, even inside other code. So how can we create these functions with no names, otherwise known as anonymous functions? Let's see how to use Lambda. Here we have the most simplest of functions called easy, and it simply returns a number with 1 added. So in this example we're just going to test it with y equals 5, and when we run the function that will make y 6, and when we print that we'll obviously print 6. So we run it and we can see we have 6. Now what happens if we wanted to rewrite that function all on one line? So we could put easy2, and what we can do is we can put x, that's a colon with x plus 1. So before we put the x to x plus 1, we put the keyword lambda. So now Python recognises the lambda keyword, lambda function, and then we can use this the same as we would do our function. So if we test this, we're going to just change the function name to easy2. When we run it again, we've got 6. Let's try it again. We're going to copy the easy function, and then we're just going to have x, let's say, times by 2. And when we run this, let's call that easy3. So easy3, y equals 5, we run it, y equals 10, straightforward. So we could write easy4 equals, we have lambda, and we're going to have x, and x multiplied by 2. So when we just change the function to easy4, when we run that, obviously we're going to get 10. Now what about if we had 2 values? So let's imagine we've got easy5 equals lambda. Let's say x is going to equal x times by y. So we're going to give it 2 values. So let's say z equals 3, and we're going to give it y and z, and it's easy5. So let's run that. Now says lambda takes 1 positional argument, but 2 were given. So we've got 2 values here, and we've got x and y here, but it didn't like this 1 value of x here. So we're just going to put x and y and run it again, and now we've got our answer 15. So we can take the 2 arguments, y and z, we can multiply them together, and then they're going to go into one of these values, but we've actually got to give 2 in the lambda function here. Okay, so multiply the 2 numbers worked, but we have to remember to give the 2 arguments. Now let's imagine we want to apply this on a list. So let's imagine we want to create a list. Let's equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to double each of the values. So we can create a new list, and that will equal a list, and we want to map. We want to map the values. So here we've got the function, and here we've got a list. So we could call a function here, but let's try to let's use this lambda function of x with x multiplied by 2. So we put that in there, so now we've got new list, and then we can print this new list, and when we run that, we've got the double of the values, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now we could do the same thing that we did before, except for two lists. So imagine we've got B list, and let's imagine we've got here, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now we want the new list to multiply the value, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth values in these lists. So we've got to just change their code. We've got lambda xy and colon x multiplied by y. So that's going to be our function. And don't forget, we've got two lists. We've got A list and we've got B list. So when we run that, now we've got 1 times by 2, 2 times 4, 3 times 6, 4 times 8, 5 times 10. 2, 8, 18, 32, 50. So far we've just used numbers, but we can use other things as well. So let's have a test. Let's say up equals an x goes to, or let's just keep it lowercase, colon x dot upper. So we're going to put a string in. So if we say print, and then we have up and A, so we've got the letter A. Let's move that up slightly. So now when we run that, we've got we've got the lambda. Don't forget the lambda keyword, and let's run that, and we've got an uppercase A. So let's try ABC. We've got ABC. So that's worked with the lambda with a string function of upper. Again, we could use map, so let's create a list and make that equal to A, B, and why not just change it? Let's say X and Y and Z. Okay, so now we want to create a new list. We want that to equal a list of map, and we are going to call the function up on our list called A list. And let's print our new list. Okay, so when we run that, we've got the uppercase A, uppercase B, X, Y and Z. Now you see we've created this function up, but we could, if we just copy that lambda code and put it into our code here, it's the same thing. Instead of calling the up function, we're running the function inside. So when we run that, we've got the uppercase letters. So is there anything else we can do with this lambda function? Sure. Let's create a list of names. Let's create a list. So we have some names here, and what we need to do, we want to put them in order of their surnames. Let's just change that to Journey. So we've got a list of names and we want to put them in order. So what do? Well, we can use sort. So if we try sort and print the list, we have JMM, but we're not likely to want that. We're more likely to want to use the surnames. So how are we going to use the surnames in the sort? Well, we can use key, and then we're going to equal, and what we're going to do is create the lambda function, and we're going to have x goes to x. We're going to make it lowercase, but we need to split it first. So we want the surname. So the surname is going to be the last. If we just split the text without any value, it will split by the space. and the last text, once it's split, the last string will be the surname, even if we have 3 parts to a name. So -1 will give us the last string, which would be the last name. And we want to make it lowercase because otherwise we could get an uppercase and lowercase letter putting it in the wrong order. Now if we print this, now we've got Jones, Joni, Stone, so they're correct order of the surname. What else can we do with Lambda? Well, if you've been watching our videos, you'll see that we've been looking at itertools and the functions inside itertools. So here we're going to import itertools, and we've got the data 1 to 10. So we can, let's just take the comment this out first. So we can create a list using something like filter false, spelled correctly, and we're going to use our Lambda function, and then we can have, let's change this x to a y, x to where x is say less than 5, I think we did before, and we are going to apply that on, let's call these numbers. So we're going to use filter false, and let's make that a list. So we can print y, and when we print that, we need to make sure the filter false has the itertools alias it in front of it. So let's run that. We can see it's give us 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So it's filtered out using the Lambda. Now, similar to filter false, we had drop while. So if we run that, we can see we've got 5 to 10, 5 to 10. Itertool that we want to show is take while. So let's run that, and you can see we've got the 1 to 4. Let's look at the exercises. We have exercise 1. Change the following function to a Lambda function. We've got the function new, where we return x times by 3. Exercise 2. Use x and y in a Lambda function. So here we return x and y multiplied by 3. Use map and the Lambda function to double each value in a list. And here's an example of the list. Exercise 4. Multiply the values from these two lists. And lastly, exercise 5. Complete these itertools used with Lambda. So we've got a list 2 to 9, and we want you to use a drop while and a take while itertool with x is less than 7 applied on that list. Okay, let's have a look at the solutions. On question 1, we had the new function where we return x times by 3. So the Lambda function is just lambda x colon x times 3. And if we run that on y, we run new and we run new 2, we can see we've got the same answer, 21. So that was exercise 1. Now exercise 2 is very similar. We've got x and y given to the function new 3, and we return x times y times 3. The Lambda function, well, we're passing x and y the same as we are the function, and we've got x times by 3 times by y. Order doesn't matter. When we run that, you can see we've got 105. 5 times by 7, 35 times by 3, 105. That's exercise 2. Now exercise 3, we have a list, and we want to multiply each of those values by 2, so we can use the map function, with lambda x, got, let's see, x to x times by 2, using map and change that to a list. When we print that, you can see we've got 4 to 18. That's exercise 3. Exercise 4 is similar, except we have 2 lists, so we use the lambda x and y, so x times by y, again using both lists inside map, change to a list, return that, so we've got the 2 numbers multiplied from 2 times 1 to 9 times 1, so that gives us 2, 12, 20, 42, 56 and 9, which is correct. And our final exercise, exercise 5, we wanted to complete the drop while and take while applied on a list. So here we've got the itertools dot drop while and dot take while, and we have the lambda function with x colon x less than 7 on both itertools functions, and the drop while will drop every number less than 7, so we've got 8 and 9, and take while will take the numbers less than 7, so 2, 3, 5 and 6, drop the remaining 8 and 9. So those are the solutions of exercises 1 to 5. We started using the lambda function in the previous videos on itertools, so we thought it was right to bring you this video. We also done a poll recently about maybe starting a project, like a research project, and creating videos to explain that project. Now, we still want to do that, but it might be delayed due to other work commitments. But look out, because we still plan to do it. It's just a question of being able to do it correctly and having the time to be able to do it. Please let us know if you're still interested in that. Okay, if you have any requests, leave a comment. For now, please click the notification bell, subscribe if you haven't, click that like, and we'll see you for the next video.